Hey there YouTube, welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Jared. I am the wood mechanic. A little bit about myself to that name. I am actually a certified auto technician, and about 2 years ago or so my wife and I bought our first house, and I started to do a little tinkering, I guess I would say, with some things here and there, and I really started to enjoy the idea of being able to work with wood and build stuff and make stuff. So I figured, what the heck, I'll give it a shot, and it led to this. 2 years later, I now have a small wood shop built here in the basement. I'm going to be building some projects and things. Here in a few minutes I'll give you a tour of this little shop I've got set up and going on. So please stick around and check everything out. Okay folks, we're going to start this shop tour off. As we come into my shop, I have here a older Craftsman 10-inch table saw that I have done a few upgrades to. I have installed a Delta T-square fence. This has a 30-inch cut, and I added a wing with the Craig router jig. I am using a Cobalt lift router in order to work in this adapter. I then have the outfeed table, which I built here. This is a 4-foot by 8-foot MDF outfeed table that is trimmed with oak. It is 2 layers of 3/4 inch MDF for the rigidity and sturdiness, and I like it because it keeps it flat. Later on in this video, or possibly the next video, I will be embedding these T-tracks and clamps from ClearStyle, which I will leave a link in the bottom for these if you'd like to check them out. Reasonably priced, seem to work very well from what I can tell so far. Then we're going to move along over here. This is one of my older dust collectors. This is the Shop Smith. I typically now just use it for pretty much just vacuuming off the outfeed table, vacuuming up any sawdust on the floor. This is no longer my main. We'll get to my main dust collection system here in a second. We have a small Blue Point toolbox here just for clamps and odds and ends kinds of stuff. Then we'll come around here. I built this organizer here to put screws, bolts, nuts, pretty much anything kind of hardware to put in. Then just to the right of that, you'll see I have the Oneida Cyclone dust collector. That is connected to a 2-horsepower Harbor Freight dust collector that I mounted on the wall. I did not use anything other than the motor itself and the blower. That comes down into the Cyclone. Then we start out here with a 4-inch drain water pipe that then runs the entire length all the way down, sorry about the light, to my shop here, and it branches off to different tools. Before we get to that though, we're going to go over here. This is my miter saw station. I built all these cabinets out of I use sanded plywood from local box store. And again, I used the same setup with the 2 sheets of 3/4 inch MDF and trimmed it with the oak. Up here is my drill storage charging station. There is a door here that opens up and it just has some odds and ends stuff in it here. Glue, got my speed square, some different things here and there. Then we'll come over here to my miter saw. This is the 10-inch Delta Cruiser. This is an amazing saw, folks. I really like this. One of the main reasons why I bought this was because I really like the fact that I can tuck it tight up against the wall, and it really saves on space. And I'm telling you, this thing cuts amazing. Down here we have some drawers, nothing fancy. I was going to use the drawer slides, but I decided against that for cost reasons, just to keep it down. So I just kind of made my own little slides here out of some 3/4 inch plywood when I built them. We're going to move on down here the other end of the miter saw station. I did put some doors here for some storage, just some odds and end kinds of stuff. Then we move on over here to my drill press. Nothing fancy, just a Porter cable, small benchtop drill press. Built a little stand here for it. We'll move on down here. Oh, back to my miter saw for a second. This is my dust collection. So this branch here comes off. I have a blast gate. Comes down to a, I guess it's an HVAC vent duct. And it does pretty well, actually. It doesn't obviously get everything, but it does get quite a bit. The other part of this is the bottom of this table where the miter saw is sitting is actually an enclosed downdraft box. There are some holes back here in the back. Let me see if I can get you a shot. There are some holes back here, and underneath I just used a shop vac, and I put it up right up under there and connected it in, and I run that at the same time, and that does help kind of cut down on some of the dust. I mean, I probably collect about 90% of the dust that comes out of that miter saw. It does work very well. Then over to this branch here, this was the branch that comes down and goes right into my table saw. There's a blast gate right up here. Does fairly well, keeps most of the dust. These older Craftsman table saws, they weren't really great on dust collection. But it does help. It does make a big difference. Then we'll move along here to my Shopfox 6-inch joiner. Again, dust collection is the main spout, kicks off, and I'm telling you, this dust collector, this thing works great for what I have it set up. Got the blast gate right here for the joiner. Then we're going to move on over here. Then I got the jet bandsaw. Nothing fancy, just a standard 14-inch jet bandsaw. I did do the upgrade though with the new roller bearings, lower and upper. And then I just made an attempt at trying to improve some of the dust collection on this. Originally, as you can see underneath here, it just has a little 2-inch port. Well, that didn't work. It just wasn't working. Dust was flying everywhere. So I had a little extra piece of the drain water pipe laying around, so I just tied that in and tried to clamp it on there as best I could. I mean, it's not pretty, but it works. And then we come back up here, and then that's the end of the line for my dust collection. Now, I do have this so that I can take it off fairly easily, because over here we have my rigid spindle belt sander, oscillating spindle belt sander, which is an amazing tool, and that has dust collection. But then underneath, now this is a flip top cart. I got the plans for this from Drew Fisher on Fisher Shop. I'll leave a link to his video on how he made this. It does work out really well. Underneath the cart, underneath the sander, I do have my planer. Now this is just a 12.5-inch Porter cable planer. It does the job. It does very well. It works wonders. Never had any issues with it. And then we are back here to the main door coming into the wood shop. This door over here, we'll just take you for a little peek here. This is my man cave. This is where I have my pool table set up. I built this room when my wife and I bought our house 2 years ago. I completely finished off this side of the basement. I have my recliner here, pool table. We'll take you down here. I made all of these mounts and brackets and everything to hold the cues, hold the balls, and that's just a quick little tour of my. Oh, and then don't forget, we got to have the TV up here. Just a little quick tour of my man cave. So I'm hoping everybody enjoyed this video. If you would, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and the notification button. I will definitely be putting out more videos here in the very near future. If you like what you see here, like I said, please give me a thumbs up. Have a great day.